Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's map 3 time. HellRaisers versus Mortal Kombat. It comes down to this, Mirage.
Yeah, and a map that we didn't even think we were going to see.
I thought it was going to be 2-0 for HellRaisers after that beatdown on Cash.
Yeah, we kind of looked at it. We're like, all right, 3 maps is probably going to happen if EFrag takes map 1.
Yeah.
Because we thought HellRaisers would take Kabul. Flipped things around. Both teams dominated their opponent on their map pick. More so for HR in map 1 than for EFrag. EFrag, it was a little bit closer on Kabul, but really once they switched over to the CT side, it did kind of show how much more one-sided it was. They were up 12-6 at one point.
Yeah.
I think the final score was, what, 15-11? 16-11, they closed it out.
Yeah.
It was at 15-11. Map 1 was a little bit more one-sided, even though EFrag started to bring it back towards the end. But now we move on to kind of question mark map. We know that both teams, historically speaking, have had similar performances.
Yeah.
How do they match up
even
recently?
The thing is, I mean, the CT side, you saw a brutal CT side from HellRaisers on Cash. They went 14-1 in the first half. Second map, they win the knife round. They opt to go CT again.
Yeah.
They get 6 rounds. Again, we talked about it before. That's not a bad CT side half on Cobblestone by any stretch of the imagination. 6 rounds on CT side, that's actually a pretty good half.
Yeah.
Comes down to this knife round again. If they get the knife round, go CT side for a 3rd straight map and have another brutal CT side performance, that could just finish things off immediately. It's really going to be down to who is going to have the stronger terrorist side on this map. Who's going to be able to get those, those executions into that A-bomb site, the smoke executes that we talk about, the B pushes, the well-timed flashes over the top, able to flush out those players in the back of the bomb site. And ultimately, it's just going to really come down to who's got the stronger terrorist side, because we know that both of these teams can play CT.
All right, so here's my prediction based on what we know. Mirage is a map that lends itself to heavy executions. Usually going to work well when you have a long-standing roster. There's only one team here that has that right now, and that's EFrag. They've played together for a while, so they understand how to play with each other, whereas HellRaisers, their roster is a little bit fresher. It's not necessarily brand new, but it's not as nearly as storied as, say, EFrag's is. So really, the map is in their hands. It all depends on how things kind of pan out on the CT side for HellRaisers.
Absolutely. So, really, in a couple moments here, we're gonna get to see that firsthand. I mean, both of the knife rounds have gone the way of HellRaisers. Both CT sides have been started by HellRaisers on both of these maps so far. We'll see if they can go 3 for 3 in the knife round and see if they're going to be able to close this one out, or if it's going to be EFrag moving on. Guys, remember, this is single elimination best of 3 format in this, so you lose, you go home. And again, I mean, this knife round a little bit more even. It's been a just a slaughter each time in favor of HellRaisers, but both players being tagged up. This is winnable by NKL. He's going to get the first, but not the second. And HellRaisers do go 3 for 3 on the knife round. Actually, a 4K for Quest in that one. So we should see HellRaisers start off on the CT side once again and see what they bring to the table this time around, because we're even in pistol rounds so far. 2 apiece for both of these teams. We'll see who's going to get that early jump into this one. If HellRaisers can pick up the pistol round on CT side and move forward and have a very strong CT side half, Mortal Kombat might not even have the opportunity to get themselves into this match.
Yeah, and we've already seen a lot of CS today. This is only our first match. Their first BO3. It's going the distance already, so looking like it might be a long day for us here, but we're totally fine with that as long as it's for the right reason, which means
good matches.
Good matches, exactly. And thus far, it has been one. A little bit lopsided on both maps thus far. We'll see if they have what it takes here to make this one a pleasure to watch. Questone with an interesting smoke towards Palace there. Usually you see him going into the other corner and bouncing it off the wall.
His aggression coming out. Nice shot from Angel. This takes down Dreamer, who's slides out around the corner and knocks him down. That was the only presence over there. So they go for the aggression. They spot that there's nobody else over there in the B halls. And this time around, they're going to be able to push the players back over. You can see one went to Catwalk, the other one went to Kitchen to rotate back over towards this A bomb site. Smoke goes out over the top. That's at Stairs. They've got a 5-7 player. That's Quest that's sitting up on top of the balcony. Re-Smoke comes out. That's going to cordon that area off. Burn more time off the clock. Mid-presence is being shown right now. Oscar does get gooshed down to only 6 HP, but he's got back up here in window. The peak comes out. They're going to tag that player up, and now they got to know that it's going to be an A execution. They saw the smoke go out. They've still got a flash to work with on the terrorist side on the back of NKL, but what do they do from here? Because look at the CTs just start to be suffocating on this area. That 5-7, though, not going to be able to do the job it was assigned to.
Yeah, and unfortunately it was armorless, so once the shots start raining out from the Glock, aim punch takes over and it makes it very difficult. Close range, you're hoping that you can just pull that recoil down and get it under control. But a lot of damage being dealt here by MK as they go for this execution. Bubble's just going to force his way in towards jungle, takes down both players in the window, and now it's just Stiko and Oscar both coming in from ticket booth. Stiko with a nice shot towards Bubble, but the bomb is planted for A ramp and they don't have a kit to work with, so they're going to have to try and pull these T-side players out, and it's a great setup here with one on ramp and one in Palace. It's still going to be quite difficult for Stiko to take this one down.
Yeah, they're actually just going to double peek there at the end of that round. So Mortal Kombat, they get the pistol round. They're going to move forward 1-0 to start things off, and just a shout out to our observer Rush, who's been doing a lot of the ESL Pro League stuff for the European division and things like that, doing a great job in the back. But if you can hear me right now, if you could hit escape 2 times so we can get the ammo and the HP. There it is. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Rush. We appreciate your hard work and dedication there in the back room. You are a gentleman and a scholar. So into the next round we go. We are going to see like a quasi-buy here from the CT side. They've got a scout in the hands of Stiko. Pistols around for the rest of them. And we'll see what they can do, what they can accomplish in this round. Can they steal away around here and get right back on track on their CT side?
Oh, Angel wanted to throw that smoke in towards Connector. It didn't quite land where he wanted. My assumption is that was for Connector because it seemed like it just clipped the wall. So instead, he actually smokes himself off. Now he has no vision to support mid. So he's going to actually rotate out of that position all the way back around towards jungle to try and stack towards the A site. So if MK decided to go towards B, there's only one man holding in that spot, which is Stiko with the scout, which actually in that position can be very difficult to deal with because of the nature of the jump scout. It's really, this is one of the maps where a force buy from your CT side, if you go like double scout, it's totally viable. You put that scout in mid, get the early pick, you have a scout towards B, jump peeking from Van, easily can shut down a push.
Like Luminosity do that a lot of times where Fallen will pick one up, Cold will have one as well, and they'll just destroy a team with a quick peek into middle and a jump scout at B, and it'll just be, you know, all she wrote. I mean, there's a reason there's graffiti over on the B bomb site, namely from the major when Cold had that nasty 4K with the AWP to keep his team in it and ultimately win over Liquid. But there you go. Finally, the first frag comes onto the board. It's going to be 0 going down, followed by Angel, followed by Quest. Nothing going anywhere for HellRaisers right now. It's going to be Spy Leader to finish off Oscar, and it's just Stiko with the scout. Probably, yeah, he's just going to push up on the catwalk and try to pop a couple of shots over in this area, but he's not really going to have much luck, and now he's given away his position, so maybe the hunt is on. You can see one coming around from CT spawn over to kitchen side, and well, he's going to fall back to bench, so he's going to be kind of stuck here in an awkward position, but he does manage to take down Bubble.
Yeah, Bubble was trying to make it difficult there by jump peeking, but Bubble was the only one with an SMG. So he's like, oh, I'm fine. I'll throw away that MAC-10.
He got a kill anyway, so it basically pays for itself.
Yeah, so the scary thing right now for HellRaisers, they just put a lot of money into this round with the force buy, and they got nothing done. They didn't prevent the plant. They didn't even slow down the take. They didn't really get any kills. They did barely any damage. Really, all they can say is, oh, we made MK waste a few grenades. They dropped a MAC-10. So, you know, we've heard multiple people talk about this before. If you're in a position where you're not consistently picking up that second round force buy on your CT side, you should probably just stop. Don't invest that money because you come into your third round and you've really hurt yourselves in the long run. You have limited utility, might not have an AWP in play, and you're going to want that on a map like Mirage. You really want that AWP presence, especially with Oscar being as dominant as he is with that AWP.
As dominant and dynamic with it too. But this time around, it's going to be Spy Leader again. He picks up the MAC-10, and he's going to go very aggressive early on in the round, finds a shot, and now Stiko, he's just going to get chipped up and drop down to 20-odd health. And they've got full A site control, pushing through the smoke, and it's going to be one more before Spy Leader falls. He's given up a MAC-10, but that's not going to be really too big of a deal with the 4 rifles that they have and the range advantage with those as well. So nicely done for Mortal Kombat. They're going to fall back to good post-plant positions, and looks like another round on the board for him here. Go 3-0 in towards that first all-important gun round.
My guess is that Spy Leader dropped an AK for Bubble and then picked up a MAC-10. That's the only thing that makes sense because he did have a rifle in the previous round. Dreamer using the Galil to take down 0. There's only 2 players left here, Quest and Stiko. Stiko might as well just hold on to the scout at this point. The bomb's going to blow and he hasn't really done anything just yet. So, I mean, it's still a viable gun. I mean, if you put that scout in towards B, if they go for a rush towards B, you can just jump scout and be a serious nuisance. It's not necessarily as good as, you know, a rifle would probably be with full utilities surrounding it, but since they can't afford to get the AWP in play because that force buy did not work out well for them, rather than getting an AWP, they're going to settle with Oscar having a scout. And the major difference there is the move speed. It's what throws a lot of oppers off. Like, not every opper is necessarily as good with the scout as they would be with an op.
Right, and actually one of the better scouters that's out there isn't even an opper to begin with, MBK.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we seen him turn rounds on its head just using a scout into an anti-eco or things like that, you know? So we'll have to see how this one pans out. Now, I'm sure Oscar is going to be able to handle that just fine and try to work some picks with it. He's actually just going to jump peek that small little crack and see if he can find anybody early on pushing in towards the B halls. Of course, we know that there's nobody over in that area. You've got Dreamer up on catwalk, Victor watching for the window room push, or the ladder room push, pardon, and Angel, he's going to be the one around the corner just waiting for these guys to encroach on his position, try to find a couple of kills. That nade, though, is going to land right next to him. But Stiko going to be able to open up, and that's Spy Leader down, who was doing a great job entry fragging into those last couple of eco rounds that they had to fight through.
Angel still sitting on catwalk.
Oh,
Not sure if they can see the blood spot from the nade, but they're going to be able to get in towards ladder room. And Dreamer already boosted up in mid here. He's getting ready to just jump in towards the window. A lot of presence here. If Zero goes for this peek and doesn't turn back around in time, he could get gunned down by Dreamer, who could come through the window. The molly from Bubblin tells his position a little bit early before he peeks. Quest is able to duck just under the shots from Bubble. And they do have a man coming up from Amp as well. Nice shooting from Queston to take him down, so it's down to just two here, Dreamer and Bubble. Bubble very low on HP, Dreamer in mid. Never took advantage of that position, did not jump through the window, didn't want to force a fight, so it's just Bubble here. It looks like it's finally around for HellRaisers. It's been a while. I mean, not necessarily on this map, but the map prior, that they were able to take like a solid round victory, because even in the previous map, the rounds they were winning towards the end were hard fought.
Yeah, and no, this is very good for them. I mean, Oscar's even able to upgrade from the scout to an AK off of one of the Fallen Terrorist side players, so very, very good for the HellRaisers side to start this one off and get that first gun round in their favor. Bubble does hang on to the AK, doesn't go for any kind of scouting or take any guns away from the CT side, so they're able to keep 5 alive, which is very, very good for them, starting to build up that economy a little bit here. Pardon me. As I mean, it's going to be a 5 AK buy, but barring a bomb plant here, Mortal Kombat, they've got one more shot at this after this round is all said and done to start stringing rounds together again. Otherwise, you know, they're going to get beat down as far as their economy is concerned, and they're going to have to start, you know, saving rounds. And look at this from Quest. Very aggressive up in the Haws, but Bubble is ready for it. He finds that opening pick, so the man advantage already in Mortal Kombat's favor.
Dreamer swallowing that grenade and he's getting popped up through the wall there. Down to just 14 HP. He's going to hightail it out of there. Bomb's still down in T-spawn, so it's MK going with the spread offense here. Just looking for information right now, putting some players in towards B, getting a little bit of mid presence early on as well. They did get that opening kill, but Dreamer's so low on HP, he's really just one bullet away from certain death. So they finally gather up that bomb. Looks like it's probably going to be an A take, but potentially a split as they have two players up in towards mid. They went for the smoke and window, though, and it didn't land where they needed to. That's actually really important because they have to now waste a second smoke to smoke off the window. So it limits the take and the hold on the A site.
Yeah, exactly. So again, I mean, it's going to come down to this this connector split that they're doing. It's an A. They haven't worked the B bomb site. It's going to be an A split again. They've got a player over there, I believe, up in the ladder room again, or at least on the end of catwalk. Just waiting for any aggression. There you go. There's the aggression. Nice shot from Oscar, though. Able to equalize things onto a 4v4. And like you said, I mean, somebody sneezes on Dreamer, they could take him down. They're not ready for this peak, though. Spy Leader goes down. Stiko playing that angle patiently and playing it well. And he even drops a nade in onto the bomb planter as well. NKL is going to be down to 85 HP, and there you go. He actually finds him. Doesn't prevent the plant, so it does go down. But again, it's going to be Stiko finding a second kill on the round to at least bring it into a 2-man advantage now for the CT side.
And now talking about that lack of utility, the T's are down, they have nothing left. They've wasted every grenade they have. It's going to have to be rifles only. Dreamer with a great shot onto one. Bubble picks up two. He's going to hightail it out of there. Actually, Bubble is the one that went down. Dreamer's so low on HP, but I'm not sure if Angel is aware of this and he doesn't have a kit to work with. So this round is absolutely in control of the man on the T side. He's going to go for that stick it on the side of the bomb. Dreamer's going to peek. He gets the kill. Does he have the time?
Yes.
Yes, he does. It's going to be a round for HellRaisers that they absolutely needed to pick up. But again, costing them so much money. This has been a problem for them across the last two maps.
Well, they got plenty to buy into this round, which is good. Oscar will have the AWP as well. Stiko could pick one up if they want to go into a double-off setup here on the CT side, and they do actually go directly into that, which this is an extremely heavily invested round right now. Utility for all, so it's not bad. 4 kits on the board as well. The only one without one is Quest, so they do manage to pick up You know, I mean, it could have come down to if they didn't have a kit in the last round, that would have been a round for Mortal Kombat. But he does play the smart game. He runs around the default boxes and finds the kit on his fallen comrade. But again, look at this. Very fast push, and Spy Leader out in front of that smoke finds it. Stiko's going to be able to return onto him. But now they got to deal with this player that's actually dropped down towards Firebox, and I'm not sure that they know that he's there.
No, it's not helping situation either. They went for a smoke in towards mid window, and Bubble, I think it was the one that was lining it up. He didn't throw it the first throw. He had to line it up again, go for the rethrow. It delays the take from mid. As a result, the players on A are waiting for the players in mid to make their move. Oscar over towards the stairs with the AWP. He's got to be careful as he's got one already moved up towards Catwalk. And it looks like one's potentially in the B site. He's going to be on Catwalk as well. NKL coming around from the brick box. So it's a 3-on-4 situation here with MK totally in control. Oscar needed to hit that shot. Now they know where he is, and with these players in the A site, they could pounce at any time. The players are basically surrounded on HellRaisers right now with Stiko in window and Oscar over towards the stairs. Great shot from Oscar, though, as he goes up for the peek. Stiko's going to spot one as well. These ops are working out wonderfully. It's down to a 2-on-2. But again, that bomb on the A site, able to plant without any fight from the CTs.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that they heard the jump in towards the window room. Stiko's not even peeking the right direction. This is going to be beautiful from NKL. He finds the first. He's got one to beat. He does actually turn around and get the kill. I thought he was going to go down there to Stiko because he had his back. He was able to get the line of sight on him before he got out of the window because he missed the jump, I believe. And it's going to end up being MK pulling that one back. And they managed to find another round, and that resets HellRaisers because the round before it that HellRaisers won, it came down to that 1v1. They lost so much economy on the rebuys, and they're actually going to force into a interesting buy-up here. Op goes out to Oscar, and the rest of them are going to pistol up.
Actually, I think what NKL did there was fake drop. So he jumped up into the window to make it sound like he's falling out towards mid, and then he just sits there. And either he decides to pull back and go for the fight.
Could be.
Or he just sits and waits, hoping that the player is going to, try and take that fight towards him. Angel with a 5-7, throwing shots through the plywood. Doesn't connect with anyone, but there's a lot of damage dealt to MK early on. Oscar holding on to an AWP in this round. Gonna deal some damage early as Bubbling gets dropped. Angel's gonna chime in. Oh, that nade could be so punishing as Dreamer's down to just 10 HP, but he responds with a nade of his own, taking down Angel. Oscar still shooting away. It's basically just a shooting gallery at this point. Down to just 2 players, Dreamer and NKL, both very low on HP. And the AWP in Oscar's hands trying to find a crack in that smoke to take him down.
Yeah, they actually do re-smoke that end hall off again and throw a flashbang out. So both players making their presence known over here towards the B-bomb site. It's going to be NKL and Dreamer in this 2 versus 4. But what a recovery here from the CT side. There's another one for Oscar. Why the hell not? And he's looking for the 4th as well, as NKL is going to be now your LMS player. And there it is, 4K on the round. The AWP drop does wonders. HellRaisers steal away another round.
But unfortunately for HellRaisers, none of their players are able to get any of those guns because all of the deaths occurred in B apartments.
Yeah.
And they were all in the site. One of their players was back towards mid. They were unable to pick up those AKs. So despite the fact that they pick up the round, this round is actually very dangerous for them. MK on the force buy with the Tech 9s, they know that that's the situation. So they know the CT side is basically broke. The only player who has any money to work with is really Oscar. And because the kills he got in the last round were with the AWP, he didn't get as much money back as if he would have had a rifle.
Right. So now this time around, I mean, this force buy, like you said, is very dangerous from the Mortal Kombat side. It's a full smoke execute going on towards that A-bomb site. They drop out the smoke wall, you can see. They don't actually have one over for stairs, but that's not the point of the strat. They want to wrap around towards Firebox and get the plant down on default, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They get the bomb down. Stiko does find Dreamer, but mission has been accomplished. They've got to go in there, and now they can play this retake situation from the CT standpoint. They've got decent post-plant positions. Bubble actually has a Molotov, which he's lining up to drop on the bomb should they press on in. And they actually opt to smoke him out, which is the smart decision. So they're going to smoke him out. They're going to check over here towards Firebox. Jumping FAMAS kill there from Stiko as he takes down NKL in the corner. And there you go. Simultaneously, all these kills come out. Only one that's able to find a frag is Bubble. But there's the defuse. So that is going to be a 4-4 scoreline now as HellRaisers tie it up.
If NKL doesn't die there, Firebox, that round is totally winnable by MK. He's in a really good position. He's crouched down to avoid the shots from stairs, potentially jump shots or jump peeking from triple box where they have no control. That was the lack of utility from HellRaisers because of how much money they invested in that round. That could have actually backfired and really hurt them. They couldn't flush the player out with the molly on Firebox. They had to smoke off the player in Palace, which was basically the one piece of utility that proved vital for HellRaisers. Yep. But now they're moving into a round with solid surplus of grenades. Mollies and incendiaries almost across the board. Oscar the only one going with the double flash instead. And it looks like it is going to be another A-take here as they stack 3 players towards Palace, 1 coming in from underpass and 1 from ramp.
This should be a little bit more manageable here from the from the HellRaisers side, and there you go. The opening pick does go 0 on the bubble, and he's going to tap away. But now he's getting flanked out. One kill there for Spy Leader, but Oscar pulls it back. 5-7 in hand. Going to find both of those kills, and only one loss so far, and Zero was actually able to pick up 2 kills in the meantime. So 5-4 now the score line as HellRaisers fight back, and they take back the lead going into the 10th round.
Still a really manageable scoreline for MK and really for HR too. It's not at a point where either team is in danger of surrendering a poor half. We'll see the op in play again from Oscar. No op on the opposite side. Oscar's going to go fast towards mid, potentially realizing that it's unlikely MK is going to have an op with the way the last few rounds have played out. Nothing there though. They're going to play a little bit more passive, watching for the push from the side of HellRaisers. Based on how aggressively they played in map 1, they could potentially do that here, but not really able to see that so much on the last map in Kabul.
Yeah, so very spread out here on the T side. Very slow strategy. Bomb's actually all the way back towards terrorist spawn as well. You should probably expect NKL to pick that up and move over with the rest of his team. But, I mean, standard setup here from the CT side. Not really too different from what you normally see. Player overplaying by stairs. You've got Oscar in jungle that's going to be able to peek down towards connector. He's actually going to peek wide into connector. He could find a shot, and he doesn't actually hit it. He actually gets tagged up down to 42 HP as well, so worse for the wear on that peak, and that's a nice little find of damage that they're able to put onto the AWP player in Oscar. So they're going to speed up a little bit behind this from the MK side. They know that they did decent damage to Oscar, and they should be able to maybe try to flush out some of these players as they've got Victor up here on Cat. This is a position that he played the last time, but he's not able to get the line of sight right, and Angel goes into one, Zero goes into Spy Leader. Now the nades, ooh, that's going to hurt. Boom, Dreamer down to 39. Stiko's going to be able to find NKL in the meantime, and that's going to leave it all on Dreamer with only 15 HP and now 0, as it's a clean round for HellRaisers.
How many times have we seen Dreamer early on in the round completely low on HP, like unable to make anything happen, down 16, 30, 25, consistently round after round? He's going for these early fights, and he's not necessarily losing the fight, but he's taking a lot of damage in the process. So we're going to see a force buy come in from MK, going with the double Galil 3 AK setup. Very limited utility, so it's probably just going to be fast wherever they go. They've got a smoke and a flash. More than likely, the smoke's going to be for CT, and the flash will be for jungle, just so they can try and get into the site. But they take that first fight early. Dreamer wins the duel with Stiko, but down goes Spy Leader in return. So it is a 4-on-4, and with the utility on the CT side, it's definitely going to favor them. They couldn't afford to surrender anything on the opposite side. Smoke lands just in front of jungle, but it's a little bit off the mark. NKL coming in on the flank, needed to take down Zero, and he does. So now Oscar's left in a position where he has to keep his head on a swivel. He has a player coming in from window to help him out, but he goes down to the man from stairs, jumping in from behind. So a solid play here from MK, just putting these rifles up against the rifles of HellRaisers.
Oh, man, and Quest, he's going to get caught with the nade out. He doesn't even get out of the window room, so he's going to go down over by jungle side, and it leaves it on Angel in a 1v4, and he's actually going to expand up through the wall, trying to line it up. Oh, that nade. Well, takes down one and does great damage to another, but it's still a 3v1, and he's only got 15 HP to work with. So a 5th round now on the board for Mortal Kombat. Starting to mount a decent terrorist side half so far, getting to 5 already.
And they're really liking this A site. Consistently round after round. You know, Mirage is a map.
Well, the one B hit that they had, Oscar 4K'd him with the AWP, so they got wrecked.
I mean, the reality is just that Mirage is a map that lends itself to A takes. Like I'd say like 70% of rounds will probably be towards the A site. Angel, very low on HP. He's not even going to survive here. He was down to 3 HP. He tried to pick up another gun, thought maybe there was an AK on the ground. That one little change could have kept him alive, potentially. He was so low on HP, he really needed to get completely away from the bomb. And he just wasn't able to do so. So the CT side able to buy up again because they had been able to pick up a few rounds in a row. But now MK has actually hit that bare minimum point.
Yeah.
5 rounds on your T side. Anything else you can get is great, but you've at least hit that standard.
Something to note as well is Stiko's sitting at 14 kills while Quest is at 1. So that's kind of an important thing to talk about. Stiko's been having a brutal amount of impact for his team so far in the 6 rounds that they've won. In Quest, he hasn't really been able to do too much. Yeah. And that's really the unfortunate thing. You know, you got one player that's doing a hard carry in this matchup because another player isn't able to make it happen. So rough stuff so far in this one as far as Quest is concerned. But 6-5, still a very, very close matchup. There's the shoulder peek on top mid, and that's going to be Oscar able to find that frag on the Spy Leader, so the man advantage swings towards the CTs to start this round.
Yeah, that nade into Palace doesn't actually do too much damage, but they're going to be flashing the way around the map, just trying to slow things down for the side of MK. But still 5 men standing here for the CTs. And that double op setup again, very costly, but but if they can hold on to it, it can be punishing for the side of Mortal Kombat. Bubble coming out of Palace, just walking his way out. There's no one underneath, and the player back on the A side, Stiko, way back behind the box. He's playing careful with that op. He's actually peeking towards the stairs. It's a full surrender on A. They're actually playing in towards jungle and window, crossfiring for connector, as is the op watching stairs, assuming that mid has been surrendered. Bubble's actually going to be able to catch Stiko off guard. That's a huge kill as he takes down the op, and now that opens a lot of opportunities here on the A site. He could flank around, or he could continue to hold on that A site.
Yeah, but Quest is able to find a frag over here on Catwalk. Bubble does find another one. Angel trying to rotate back in towards A is going to get cut off immediately. It is a 3v3, so this round not over yet. 15 seconds, but look at this. It's all a ruse. Bubble finds a third, but it doesn't matter. The bomb is planted at B, so they actually wait for that rotation to come off of that B bomb site, sneak the players out through the B halls, get the bomb plant, and now the CTs, they still don't even know that it's over at the B bomb site. They're going to push in towards A, and now they realize it. They've actually used the last bit of their utility. They've got a smoke on Oscar still, but they've got such a such a huge amount of ground to cover, and this was a beautiful round for Mortal Kombat, all because of Bubble's lurk out from the Palace side halls. Beautiful stuff for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, and unfortunately, HellRaisers has to just run into the site, and it does not go well for them. In that situation, you can almost understand trying to save. You've lost so much clock. Bubble getting into the A site, that full surrender of mid and A by HellRaisers cost them so much money, cost them so much map control. Stiko's back behind Ticket Booth with the op. He's watching the stairs, but he's got no support on A, so Bubble just walks his way out, gets that big kill, but because of the positioning of the remainder of HellRaisers, he can just sort of sit in CT spawn and be a nuisance. Even if they don't go towards A, he can easily just rush through CT spawn and go back towards B, or he can stay towards A and be a nuisance. It's exactly what he did. He gets 3 kills on the round, basically single-handedly picking up the round for his side.
That was insane. That was beautiful play there from Bubble. This time around, it's going to be mid-aggression is the name of the game right here. You can see Angel up on Catwalk, Oscar playing down underneath. And they're going to go forward, but look at this. They've got 2 players in the top side of mid. That's Victor and Dreamer, just waiting for this push to come around the corner. And Oscar, he's stuck in a weird position now because he could get flanked from a player coming from underpass. He could get pushed by a player that's coming around from the top side of mid. And that's what's going to end up happening. They're going to push around from the top side of mid. Oscar's going to spot the shoulder, finds one, but is he going to be privy to a second one? There he is, but Victor is going to win that battle, so he trades it out immediately. He does go down to 28 HP, but he's at least able to make it a 1-for-1 trade.
Questone back towards the van with the FAMAS. He's got to be the big man right now, as they've already dropped out towards the second window, but they don't really know that he's in this position just yet. They haven't peeked him. He's in a really tight spot, gets the first kill, holds onto the FAMAS rather than swapping out. Actually put a dink down onto the man over towards the window. That was Spy Leader. He was trying to shoot NKL in sight, and a stray bullet hit Spy Leader in the side of the dome.
That's unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah.
See us go.
But it doesn't matter anyway. HellRaisers pick up the round. Mortal Kombat now left in a position where probably going to save. No, they're going to force. I would have imagined they'd save just so they could have a full buy come into the final round of the first half, but they feel confident with the force buy, going with a Deagle, a Tech-9, a CZ, a P250, and an AK, kind of showing you the diversity of CSGO guns.
Little mishmash going on there for their T side. Flashbang around the corner at the top side of mid. That's actually going to blind Oscar. Smoke goes out as well, so he's going to have no line of sight. And this is a golden opportunity now for HellRaisers to take a 9-6 halftime score. If they're able to capitalize into this round, it's going to be a very broken buy for Mortal Kombat into the final round, barring a bomb plant. They get a plant into this round, they should have a pretty healthy buy into that final round of the half after losing a couple of rounds in a row here. But the biggest part about this is a lot of map control through mid is being yielded here by HellRaisers. They've got Angel up in the ladder room, but they've got no eyes on anything right now. They're just waiting for anybody to get cheeky and push a smoke or anything like that, and Victor is right around the corner. They could potentially push on in here. That's exactly what they're going to do, and Victor is able to do a little bit of damage, but now they know, and look at this, boosted up on top of the boxes. He can't actually see in, but he gets into window room, and he's going to be able to find the kill. Almost finds the kill, drops him down to 23 HP as Angel. Very, very low now. Finally, the Desert Eagle comes out, but this player, Firebox, should be able to clean him up, and that's going to be Stiko. 2 more kills on the round for him. And he's actually sitting at 16 kills now. So it had been a couple of rounds since he had actually gotten any kills.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's really been a strong force for the CT side in the rounds that they've been picking up. And now we can see MK left with very little money to work with. They didn't even get a bomb plant, so it's going to be pistol armor. It's not that uncommon to see teams surrender mid. Oscar went for the early pick, was flashed, then smoked, so you just give up mid. You say, okay, well, we'll surrender mid here. Long-range smoke from downtown coming in from MK as they smoke off the man in window. And that's part of the reason why you play a little bit more passive trap setup towards mid. Let them get it, but don't let them do anything with it. Zero finding 2 kills on the round. Stiko did get one as well. Angel's going to drop to the deagle, but it is around here for HellRaisers, cleaning things up with 4 players left standing, so a 9-6 score line at half. Pretty much a standard and natural score. 10-5, 9-6 is almost normal for this map.
Yeah. I mean, we figured that this was going to be pretty close. I mean, it's going to be a matter. I mean, you know, we always try to stress the importance of the pistol round, especially going into the second half. I mean, you saw Mortal Kombat actually picked up the pistol round to start off this matchup, and they got up to that 3-0 scoreline to you know, start things off. And wait, did Mortal Kombat? Yeah, they won the pistol round. Mortal Kombat did. But HellRaisers, I mean, they fight back, and they do a great job with it as well. So, I mean, moving forward into this one, HellRaisers, if they're able to pick up this pistol round and push it to that 12-6 scoreline on the T side, have nice executions, nice smoke strats going in towards the A bomb site. I mean, we saw MK. That was where they found their success, was over A, with the exception of that one round of Bubble, which was successful in towards the A bomb site to begin with anyway, because he found those 3 kills. So it'll be interesting to see how this one ends up panning out. But guys, this is the last ditch effort here for both of these teams. Whoever loses this map goes home. Whoever wins this goes into the grand final to face the winner of INS and Penta. Sorry, I don't know why I just blanked on that for a second. But yeah, that's coming up after this one's all said and done. BO3 is all day, son. And
you know, it's not like a normal tournament where losing is like, okay, we have another tournament next month and we're fine. Like, this was a whole season that then resulted in playoffs, and the winner moves to the Pro League, which is a huge jump.
Money.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a big jump to go from Premier to Pro, and next season there is no opportunity for a move-up, as there is no Pro League season, I think. As far as we know, I don't think, there would be no move-up because there's no relegation for the next season. So playing again in Premier, it would be a little bit frustrating for both of these teams having this opportunity right in front of them and letting it slip through their fingers. Pistol round, though, heavily important, and it's going to be a lot of damage dealt early there in mid as Bubble gets dropped down to 55. He's going to have to fall off and play towards the vent. Spy Leader and Connector sees them as they move their way up Catwalk, and that's going to put a lot on Dreamer here. He has to get this first kill, and he doesn't. Support from the back of sight. Victor gets one, hoping to spot the man jumping out from B apartments as well. Not able to get the kill. Rotates back in towards the site. Somehow Victor is still alive, but so is Angel, and Angel finally gets that kill, and it is down to just NKL here. He's over in jungle, gets the kill on Zero, trying to come in on the flank, but the bomb's going to be planted in just a moment.
Yeah, and they've already got good positioning here. Oscar's playing close near the window, and player going over towards bench side. So now they know where NKL is. There's the jump peak. Actually does good damage on Oscar. He's down to 3 HP, but finally he does go down to the hands of Angel. And there it is. HellRaisers pick up their 10th round. They're the first ones to hit double digits in this matchup, and it comes right after the pistol round in the second half.
That's brutal for MK, really. They really needed that one to try and bring this one back to a closer scoreline. So now we could see a very similar situation to what we saw in the last map. It was 9-6 at halftime. That pistol round win on your second half spreads the gap, doubles up your lead. And then it really comes down to just that first buy round. Then it puts so much pressure on you where you're spending more, you're force buying when you really wish you could save. So this is a big round here for MK as HellRaisers have already gotten control of mid, and they're moving fast in towards Connector and towards Ladder Room. Dreamer with the CZ75 on Catwalk gets one, traded out immediately. Angel with the MAC-10 also getting a kill onto Spy Leader, and KL, Bubble, and Victor, the last 3 alive here for MK. Yeah,
really tough position here for these last couple of players. They're doing a decent amount of damage. Angel is down to 50, but Zero's going to be able to clean up another one, and that's going to leave it in a 2v4 right now. So HellRaisers poised to take an 11-6 scoreline, and we'll have to see how it ends up panning out here. There's a lot of screaming going on down in the players area right now, so we'll see what happens here in a few seconds. But again, I mean, this is just a really tough situation for the Mortal Kombat side to be in, but they're doing great damage now. They've salvaged an AK as well, and that's going to be in Victor, who has armor and 73 HP. 6 HP left for Oscar. He's going to be able to find Bubble. I'm surprised Bubble actually couldn't find that kill to begin with, but I mean, it's all going to come down to this 1v3. And there you go. Victor finds another one. He's could potentially do this, but it looks like he is going to go ahead and back off and live to fight another day. So there's not going to be much that he can do into this round. And there it is. 11-6 is going to be the scoreline for HellRaisers. Yeah, he had to backpedal in that situation. He has no kit, so there's no way he can go for the defuse. No real reason to take the fight. He knows he has an AK. He's got armor. He's got a 5.7. Just hold on to it for another round. You can drop the 5.7 to your teammate that can armor up behind it. You can hold on to the AK. All of a sudden, it makes the round that much more viable. And in fact, he could even drop a FAMAS here and hold on to the AK. They could totally buy up, get like kind of like a 3-2 split buy here. But
with the way that the scoreline sits, it'd be so risky to do that, to put that much money into the round. So it's really better to just throw away the 5-7, pick up the USP, and give that little bit of boost to one of your teammates.
Yeah, and that's what they do. So Spy Leader's going to have the 5-7, P250, and NKL. And the rest of them are just going to be on the default pistols, with the exception of Victor with the head armor and the AK-47. But it's a heavy stack towards that A bomb site. Victor opens it up with one. Sneeko does go into one, but Victor with a second now. Angel answers back. Dreamer goes down. There you go. Victor with a third. He's looking for some more. He's just spraying. Victor gets a fourth into the round. Can he get the ace? It's a 1 versus 2. And Victor with the ace locks it down. Solo dolo. And there you go. Beautiful stuff from Mortal Kombat. Wow.
Yeah, really just beautiful stuff from Victor there with the Thrift Shop AK, salvaging it from the previous round and putting it to good use, getting the Slurpee scoreline 7-11. I mean, that was a big round for him. Not only that, it's crippling for HellRaisers. Now they're stuck in a position where they have very limited firepower. Sneeko on a Tech 9, Questone on a Tech 9 as well. Galil on 0. Whereas now, because they were saving into that round and they did as much damage as they did, picking up a lot of kills on those pistols, Bubble's actually able to go into the op. This was supposed to be their buy round anyway. So you look at the money previously, complementing that with a buy or a win means they just have that much more to work with.
Yeah, it goes from having $6,000 into the round to having $7,500 or $8,000 into the next round. So really nicely done there from the Mortal Kombat side, and that just shows you how close this matchup can be and probably will end up being in the long run. Now HellRaisers, they're kind of on the back foot. They got to kind of, step up in a big way now, especially into this round, because they're contending against the AWP from Bubble. He's got a bit of a gap in that smoke to be able to spot out, and I mean, this is still anybody's ball game right now.
Yeah, Bubble didn't see the player that came out of Underpass, Angel, who actually I think jumped up onto Catwalk and ends up getting spotted anyway. Zero looks like he wants to play towards B, make a little bit of noise and try and lock these players down, but the execute is going on towards A right now. Runs up the stairs, runs back down, smoke's going to rain out over the wall. NKL back towards Ticket Booth. He'll be likely to make the first contact here with the T side, but they go for the smoke strategy to get themselves up on the Ticket Booth. In Connector, it's going to be Zero who gets a 1 and done as he manages to gun down Spy Leader, immediately traded out by Dreamer. NKL still back behind Ticket Booth, not able to spot anything just yet. Goes down to the Tech 9 of Questone. Victor with an immediate response. He was so big in the previous round, but it's 1 for him, and that is all. So it's on Tech 9 on Sneeko and Oscar with the AK. Sneeko swallows that grenade, though, and now the bullet to follow up from the op. It's another round for MK here, and it really came on the back of Bubble there, who picked up 3 in the round.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. I mean, that op already paying off big time for him. And that will be 8-11 now. Mortal Kombat, they were down, but they're not out just yet. They stole away around 2 rounds ago. They get this round on the board. The bomb plant helps a little bit for HellRaisers, but that's going to be the reset for them, so they're going to have to go onto the save, and that money continues to start to stack up a little bit here slowly for Mortal Kombat. You can see, even though they were heavily invested in the last round and lost 3 players, they're able to have a very comfortable buy into this round. So it's going to be pistols on the board for HellRaisers. See where they do decide to take it. Looks like it's going to be towards B, maybe a split of some sort. Maybe a couple players are going to filter in towards Underpass or something like that. Bubble actually missing that opening shot. That's going to give an opportunity for those Deagle bullets to rain on his parade over towards that window room, but they aren't going to connect just yet. And now they're going to put pressure in from Underpass.
Oh, that nade lands right on the head.
The timing, so good.
I mean, that was really what got MK as many rounds as they did. It was just timing going their way. Sometimes it's luck, sometimes it's just skill. In that situation, it's just thinking about where you're at in the round and realizing it's likely that a player would be in that position at that point.
Ooh, an nade.
Yeah, a little bit off there on the incendiary. The nade is also too deep, but does no damage to Sneeko, so a lot of money spent to actually do no damage, but with Dreamer on Catwalk, I don't think he's necessarily too worried about this player in Connector.
Well, you never know. Dreamer is watching that off angle for a player coming up Catwalk as opposed to a player already in Connector. So potentially speaking, that player could come around the corner. Nice spray control there from NKL. Spy Leader goes in on 1. Oscar with the Glock does take down Spy Leader, but they lose the bomb in the process at the hands of Bubble with that AWP, and it's all down to 0 with only 22 HP. Stuck over here by Sandwich. He's going to make his way back around towards the terrorist spawn ramp. Still trying to find that shot onto NKL. Connecting some bullets down to 45 HP is NKL, but there you go. He comes around the corner, and Victor's going to clean him up. 9-11 now. 2 rounds the difference. What a match.
Yeah, bringing it back despite losing the pistol. That 1 round that was huge from Victor has really put MK back into the game, and they've managed to build up a stable bank as well. Victor on 6K, Bubble, who's got the op, he's on 5K. Spy Leader's the only one who's had to put heavy investment, and really when you look at the scoreboard, you can see why. He's got 19 deaths, which means he's died in all but 1 round this entire game. Not necessarily struggling to perform, just struggling to stay alive. But another investment here from HellRaisers. AKs across the board. A volley in towards window allows Stico to get up into an aggressive position. The smoke also pulled the player out of window. No reason to stand there and just stare at it. They've got 2 players on catwalk, one in towards the vents from ladder room and one still holding in ladder room. Angel gets a one and done again. Victor goes down, but Dreamer with an immediate response. Pop Flash actually lands right next to Spyleader. Stico and Spyleader are dancing in the smoke. Finally, Stico's gonna take the lead. And now it looks like it is a round for HellRaisers. Bubble's going to have to come up huge with the off back behind Ticket Booth. It's not going to happen. Questone pushing in towards that position really seals the deal. It's all on Dreamer here in a 1v3.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a very tough situation, 1 versus 3. He's got to ace it to win it. And he's not going to get there. Quest picks up the salvaged op off of the hands of Bubble and closes out the round for HellRaisers, 12-9. So they at least get themselves back into this one a little bit. They kept 3 players alive at the end of that round as well, so they're going to have no problem investing into this one as well. They can drop an AK-47 over if they so desire, but Stico is actually just going to buy it up himself, invested a little bit into the utility as well to work with. So 3 rounds the difference, 12-9, still not over just yet. HellRaisers, though, 4 rounds away from moving into the Grand Finals for the Premier EU.
Yeah, and Mortal Kombat has had to smash open their piggy banks for this round, spending every drop of cash they have left. And if they lose it, it's a 13-9. HellRaisers is looking at an eco from MK. They really can't force buy in that situation because it would be too punishing if they were to lose it. So it would potentially be a 14-9 scoreline before MK would have a buy coming out again.
Yeah.
So this round, pivotal more so to HellRaisers, or to MK than HellRaisers. If HellRaisers lose this round, they should be able to still put something on the board in the next round. But as you can see here from the setup, looks like it is going to be an A play. Stico in towards mid, trying to prevent them from pushing up from catwalk, while the rest of his team works towards A ramp and Palace. There is the op on the back of Oscar, and that looks like it is positioned over towards the ramp. He's going to be throwing the smoke for CT. NKL playing an off angle in sight might be able to do some damage though.
Yeah, this is actually a really good position from him. He's going to see these players pushing up, and he gets the first frag. He's going to be looking for some more, but it's Spyleader over there by balcony, I believe, over maybe the jungle. He's able to find that kill, but they trade it back. Angel and Oscar on the board. It's a 3v3. Bomb yet to get planted. It is going down. They do throw a nice pop flash, but Bubble pushes through, and he gets the spray transfer, takes down both Oscar and Angel, and another round on the board here for Mortal Kombat. It comes down to a 3v3. Mortal Kombat, 3 simultaneous frags like that. Beautiful stuff.
So now let's see how the money stacks up here for HellRaisers. Because of the bomb plants, some of their players are going to be sitting a little bit better than others. It makes sense in this situation, spend a little bit to get a little bit. They know that the CT side is working with very little money built up. So they're going to go into it with a couple of Tech 9s, double AK, and an AWP on Oscar.
Well, the scary thing here, too, is the fact that Mortal Kombat is on the verge of being broken. I mean, that last round, even though they only lost 2 players, this rebuy hurts a lot.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting to see how it pans out after this round is all said and done.
So it looks like it is going to be a B take here. 3 players getting set up for smokes over towards the B site, and it's a one-man hold on B. It's Dreamer who's playing close on the balcony. So he's in a spot. I mean, he's in a spot where he can do a lot of damage, but he needs to do it, and he needs to do it quick, and the jump peek's not working out nicely. Still manages to pick up 2. Questone, though, with the Tech 9 gets 1. Stico pushing in towards the market, takes down the AWP. NKL is isolated in the back of sight. He's just getting spammed through the smoke. Spyleader, meanwhile, did take down Stico, who went aggressive in towards the market, but it is a 2-on-2, and the bomb still has not been planted here by HellRaisers.
Yeah, it's actually in an off angle outside of the window room coming out from market, so Angel, he's the one that's holding on to that. They are going to throw the flash out. He spots the corner of a player through that box, and then they exchange fire. Spyleader on 21, Angel on 14. They're going to come out and peek, but Angel hits a nice shot, and there it is. The crossfire works. They didn't even have to plant the bomb. The push comes out. HellRaisers, they capitalize, and there's the hard reset. We might see a force out, and it is going to be a force for Mortal Kombat. This is kind of their last chance to dance because they lose this round. They could lose to match point. HellRaisers could be on a 15-10 scoreline, and then they've at least secured overtime, if not the map victory.
It's an ugly buy from both teams, though. 2 Galils for HellRaisers, limited utility Tech 9 on Oscar because they had lost the AWP in the previous round. Bubble still manages to pick up the AWP, so that could actually be huge for them. And a lot of damage dealt early through the smoke and mid onto Stico, who does have a Galil. But even still, 13-10 is your scoreline right now. Another big round for MK. They desperately need to pick this one up, or HellRaisers is just that much closer to closing things out.
Yeah. So again, I mean, we've seen the trade of rounds go back and forth in this half so far. I mean, HellRaisers won 1, Mortal Kombat steals 1 away, HellRaisers win another one after that's all said and done. So very back and forth this matchup has been, and it's very close. I mean, you can tell it's super tense. Each team has a map. This is the final map of this BO3. Winner goes on to the grand final. Loser goes home. So they're fighting for that coveted spot in the next season of Pro League. So it's just a matter of time. But again, like I said, I mean, back and forth. It's just making for great Counter-Strike right now. And some good flashes up there on the catwalk. So Victor around the corner, but there's the flank out, and Stiko goes down, but there's the trade. Angel is going to be able to find Dreamer and takes him off the map as well.
Yeah, Victor and Dreamer had a nice pinch there in towards the ladder room, but it did end up costing them one of their players. A nice response, though, from Spy Leader using the FAMAS as Angel comes up from mid in towards the connector. That's going to cause HellRaisers to back off a little bit. They're going to concentrate their efforts over towards the B site. They've got NKL in that kind of off angle yet again, very similar to how Dreamer was positioned in the previous round, except Dreamer had an M4. He was able to get 2. This time it's going to be NKL with the 5-7.
Yeah, 5-7 that close,
yeah,
though.
Exactly.
Headshot is a one-shot. So
exactly.
And they actually molly out the van side. They jump through the window, but they still don't know he's up here. This is such a crucial play right now. If they don't clear this angle, there you go. There's the one shot. I'm surprised he doesn't actually see the legs through that smoke, but he comes back out, does good damage onto Zero. And there you go. There's the trade. Zero actually finds another one. It's down to a 1v1. Spy Leader versus Zero. Who is going to peek? They're playing Ring Around the Rosie right now. Oh, this is a beautiful play, but it gets the gun barrel spotted, and Spy Leader pounces, takes him down. And another trade of rounds. Mortal Kombat going to find their 11th.
Yeah, and Spy Leader's also going to be able to save the op. Even still, I kind of feel like HellRaisers comes out of this one at least better economically speaking. CT side loses 4 guns again. They have to drop the op again. So they're going to have to go in towards another forced up split by awkwardness, whereas the T side probably going to force up again. Both teams realize where the money sits, and really, if you're on your T side, Tech 9 Armor buy is almost as good as
what's the pocket AK, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not exactly that terrible for HellRaisers, and that shows you just how back and forth this has been, because both teams have been forcing up multiple rounds in a row. You know, FAMAS limited utility. Victor at least has the FAMAS surrounded by full litany of nades. Bubble's going to get mollied out. No, the molly is just off the mark, and that could be really dangerous here for HellRaisers, as he does have that AWP in the window.
Oh, and they just jump peeked in mid. I don't know. Dreamer should have gotten spotted out of that situation, but Bubble's going to peek. They're able to find one, but Quest goes into NKL, so it's a little back and forth to start. There's another kill from Quest, and Stiko is going to be able to find one. Now he's got an AWP. He's like the secondary AWPer of the team. This is dangerous now here for the CT side of Mortal Kombat. It's a 2v3. Man advantage going the way of HellRaisers. Now they've salvaged some guns. They've got an M4, a FAMAS, and an AWP to work with going into this round, and they're fighting against a FAMAS and an M4, and now the only player that's left is Victor with the FAMAS. He does have utility to work with. Does manage to take down one, finds a second one as well. Can he clutch this out? Smoke goes out. That's actually a little bit off the mark. Oh, and he gets tagged. Wow, that didn't kill him?
That did like next to no damage.
Stiko does manage to finish him off though. So HellRaisers, they trade back. And this has been like 6 rounds where one won by HellRaisers, one by Mortal Kombat, back and forth. And look who's worse for the wear right now. Mortal Kombat, they are broke.
Yeah.
They have no money. This could be 15-11.
And
they forced too.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. I really am not. At this point in the game, with the way things have been going, the way that the pistol armor has been working out for both sides, I can totally understand it. It makes perfect sense. That was interesting, though, in that 1v1. He hits him through, like, the brick box towards Tetris, and it did, like, he had, like, 26 health or something like that.
He had, like, 16,
yeah, it was really low. And he did, yeah, it did, like, next to no damage. But speaking of damage dealt, Victor and one more pushing up into B apartments, able to spot Zero. They get the headshot from the 5-7. They're going to be able to get one of those AKs as well, so they're going to hang on to that one, move it back towards the B site. Angel, how many times have we seen Angel with the UMP in these rounds just not able to make anything happen this time around? NKL getting aggressive. This is a really good round from MK. It's down to just 2 players here.
Yeah, I mean, these pistols are going to work. They've got 2 AKs now to work with. They've got armor on all their players as well. Even though 3 of them are low, sub 50 HP right now, Victor, Bubble, and NKL, they've still got a great opportunity to steal this round away and have yet another trade of rounds. And, I mean, it's just, it really boils down to who's going to just win 2 rounds in a row. But if they continue to trade like this, HellRaisers will win.
Yeah, essentially.
MK will just run out of time,
yeah.
You know? So I mean, again, this was supposed to be a double save from MK. They forced into this round. They were going to be broke going into the next round, facing that elimination point. And it was just going to be really, really rough. Now they're actually going to have a lot to work with going into this. There's a peek out. Stiko's going to be able to plant one. He's going to be looking for some more here around the corner. But the 5-7 from Market, Bubble, trying to chime in, trying to do something for his team, keep his team alive and in this game, trying to find that 12th round.
I mean, at this point, who needs to save? It doesn't seem to necessarily affect either team.
No. The battle of the ecos.
But they really,
the force buy.
you know, MK couldn't afford to save in this situation. They surrender that match point potentially to HellRaisers. It puts them in too good of a position. Stiko, wow! Both players dropping simultaneously. Couldn't even see where Stiko got killed from. The AK ended up hitting him. I think that was NKL who came from Catwalk, maybe jumping out a window. I couldn't tell. But either way, 3 players survive, and they all get themselves an AK. That's absolutely huge for MK.
Well, that's a huge economy swap right there. I mean, the bomb plant notwithstanding, HellRaisers are going to buy into this round. There's a pause. Our first pause in 3 matches, and it comes in the 27th round.
Definitely took a while.
Yes, it did.
And you know what? You kind of wonder which side's pausing here. I would assume it's actually HellRaisers.
I would think it's HellRaisers too. Just because they're probably thinking about, do we want to force into this round? Do we want to invest in the Tech 9, the Tech 9 armor? They can put an AK in the hands of Zero. Or do they just save, let Mortal Kombat get to 13 rounds and have a very healthy buy to try to close this matchup out? Because, I mean, it's just been these trade of rounds back and forth and back and forth. And finally, eventually, somebody is going to lose.
Yeah.
You can't keep doing that. It's a lose-lose situation for both sides, even though it seems cool because they're putting rounds on the board, but neither team is going to be able to have an economic advantage going into any of these rounds. You can see Bubble, who was one of the ones that saved an AK in the last round. I think he had to drop an M4 over to Spy Leader, and now he's only on $50, so he can't even afford to go into any nades this time around.
Yeah. And on the opposite side, HellRaisers is looking at this like, okay, we don't want to force up here, but we do at the same time.
Yeah.
Because we know the CTs
it's
are broke.
Such a thin line to walk in this.
And that's the nature of the way things have boiled down thus far. Both teams have forced up most of the time. That kind of situation favors towards the T side, but the deficit is so small here between these two teams. I mean, it's only a 2-round lead for HellRaisers. So they know that the situation is not exactly in their hands. They need to be careful here. I actually think this is perfect time to save. Surrender that 1 round, make it a 1-round lead. Come into the next round with a full buy. Try and use the few players you have with a little bit of money built up. Maybe put a Tech 9 on them with a little bit of like body armor behind it instead of head armor. Just hope that they can do some extra damage because every gun you take out of their hands is going to make it that much easier for you.
Yeah. And again, I mean, it's just a matter of time. That's all it is. So obviously talking things over, you can see having a little bit of a discussion going on down there. But HellRaisers 2 rounds away from moving on to the grand finals. Mortal Kombat trying to bring this one back. They've scratched and clawed their way into this matchup, and they're sitting 2 rounds down right now. And if we do see the save come out here from the HellRaisers side, it is potential to see that 14-13. I mean, this one's coming down to the wire right now.
Yeah.
Each team was able to take the victory on the other team's map pick going through this. Cash went the way of HellRaisers, even though Mortal Kombat were the ones that chose to play that. Cobblestone likewise going the opposite direction. And this time around, I mean, we said this was going to be close.
Yeah.
We looked at the statistics for both of these teams as far as how they play on Mirage, and we knew that this was going to be a close matchup. Honestly, Mortal Kombat on paper is the better team on this map, but not by much. And it's very prevalent in this matchup right now that neither of these teams really have a clear edge over the other one in this matchup on Mirage.
Yeah, and that really is how it all boils down. We knew this one would be deep.
Yeah.
I figured at least 28 rounds, potentially the full 30, even likely for overtime.
Yeah.
And we're still in that spot now. Like, HellRaisers loses this round, it's 13-14. It is just a save here. If they surrender it and then MK, take the next round, I mean, we're really in a position where overtime is heavily likely.
Absolutely. So this should basically be a throwaway round from HellRaisers. They're looking to get a bomb plant. They've got a couple of smokes and some flashes to work with, so we're probably going to see that execution actually come out. Maybe the smoke wall goes out, and they try to make something happen from there. And there it is. There's the smoke wall. 1 for CT. They only had 3 nades. 1 for CT, 1 for the top of the stairs, and 1 for jungle. And they are going to be able to get out and onto this bomb site. Pushing through the smoke, though, Stiko, he's going to be able to find only a bullet. It's coming from Bubble, but they trade back. It's a 2 for 2 so far, and the bomb has gotten planted. All 3 terrorists are playing over by jungle side, so this is going to be a very intense retake situation. Angel does bail out and goes towards Connector, spots Dreamer. Dreamer is going to be the only player that's over there right now, but the Ninja Diffuse is actually coming out. They don't have line of sight on the bomb. It's going to get defused. Quetz, he can't get there in time. That round was so possible for HellRaisers to be able to win, but it's just unfortunate that he doesn't peak at the right time. He had a clear line of sight. He could have taken the shot and pulled that planter or pulled that diffuser off the bomb, and it's just a little bit unfortunate. 13-14 now, HellRaisers with a 1-round lead.
So HellRaisers, though, they get the bomb plant, which is what they really wanted, and now they have that full buy, and they have an AWP on their side too, whereas the CT side does not have an AWP on Bubble. Bubble's still going to be playing towards mid, and he puts a lot of shots in towards that smoke, but doesn't actually connect with any of the T players. The molly in mid is actually a little bit off, but that smoke on Cat actually could be really tough for them to deal with. Dreamer gets up on the other side of them, but still unable to get the kill. Angel and Zero both chiming in with frags in towards B. Victor is burning alive in towards the back of the site, and the bullets are raining in his direction as well. Bubble coming in from the door, a one and done as Oscar connects with the AWP, so it's all on NKL here, a 1 versus 3. And it's the 15th round for HellRaisers, so finally at least securing match point.
Yeah, at least securing overtime as well. So HellRaisers, they've got 2 shots at it. Can they close it out in regulation? Are we going to overtime? Find out here in a sec. It's going to be a very, very tough buy here from the Mortal Kombat side as well. 3 pistols to work with, 2 rifles. Intense. We've seen them make it happen before. Earlier in this half, like 3 rounds ago, we saw them do it. So,
yeah,
see how this one pans out. They go for immediate palace control as well. They're sending Victor and a teammate. I believe it was Bubble that was up there with him as well. Maybe it was NKL. I believe it was actually NKL. And there you go. Opening frag goes the way of Victor. So they at least get the man advantage. He takes a lot of heat from that as well. So I'd like to actually see him drop down out of Palace and swap that M4 with one of the players who's got a 5.7. Give it to one of the higher HP players so that they can continue to try to damage into this round, because he's not, I mean, he's a one-shot kill at this point. So I'd love to see him swap out that M4 for a pistol and let somebody else try to take that M4 and do some damage with it.
I mean, this round, that aggressive play from Victor is really what opens the round up for MK. It puts the pistols in a position where they're much more likely to take things into their control. Dreamer gets 1, immediately taken down by Zero, who drops in from the window. No support from his teammate. NKL's going to get 1, gets a second. Now he's looking for the 3rd, runs out of ammo on the 5.7, but it is just Oscar here, all by himself. NKL goes for the reload, still struggling to get the kill, but eventually comes up with it. So that buy, that force up for MK works towards their favor. And now it's HellRaisers who are in a tight spot. It really looks like we're going to see overtime.
I'm feeling it right now. I'm definitely feeling it. NKL, what a huge play. He was actually the bottom fragger in the server, gets 3 clutch headshots with the 5.7. So, yeah, we're looking at a 14-15 scoreline right now. Could potentially be overtime in the books. And it's, I mean, we said it was going to be close.
Yeah.
And
we
they have not
this.
disappointed. They have not disappointed at all so far in this matchup. It's going to be a standard A execution here. One player lurking over towards the underpass side. That's going to be Angel, trying to find out any information that he possibly can, but it's going to be the execute onto A. They've only got 1 rifle to work with. It's a Khalil, so even that is on the weak buy. Molotov's going to stifle this push. Nades to return. It's actually a great nade. Spy leader down to 55, but they've got to contend with Bubble, who's up on top of Ticket Booth. He finds the opening pick. Oscar, though, answers back with the Tech 9, takes down Spy leader. Couldn't afford the head armor, gets knocked off the map immediately into this round, and the bomb is planted. 4-on-4 retake situation.
I mean, the biggest problem right now for HellRaisers has been their post plan, and right now they don't have a whole lot to work with either. Being that it's only Tech 9s, a P250, and a Galil, they're not going to have that long range. Look at this play, though, from Angel. He's still in connector. Unfortunately for him, Dreamer waiting on catwalk. Oscar at top mid, he's rotating around because of the way the bomb is planted, but the rest of his team is dying in the process, and it is down to just Oscar here at range with the Tech 9. The smoke was on top of the bomb as well. There really was no winning that situation. So MK come out on top, and we are going to be moving into overtime.
This has been a wild matchup so far. And again, guys, so you know, overtime rules for ESEA. It is a MR3, max rounds 3. You play 3 rounds on each side. You start on the side where you finished off in regulation. So we'll see MK starting on the CT side. HellRaisers are going to be over on the terrorist side. And then the first team to get 4 rounds combined on both of those sides. So 19 is the magic number that we're looking for in the first overtime, 22 being second overtime as well. So we'll see how this one ends up panning out.
I have a feeling we're going to be seeing more than one.
You think we're going to go to double OT at least?
I think we might go to double OT. I think that...
I hope not. I got to go to the bathroom.
I think that HellRaisers is going to be a lot stronger on their CT side, so they're going to rely on that to force a second overtime. But then once they get the start on it, they could 3-0 MK potentially, and then all of a sudden they're really in the driver's seat. The problem with overtime is that it doesn't play out the same way as regulation. So regulation, you're dealing with your money. With overtime in an MR3 format, you get 10K.
10,000.
And even some formats have actually switched to 16K. So then money is completely thrown out the window. Like, you don't have to worry about economic balance or stability at all. All you worry about is picking up rounds.
Yeah, 16K is usually reserved for like MR5. You see that a lot in like Face It and stuff like that. ESEA sticks to the way that they do it in the major, which seems, you know, to be the better, most reasonable way to do things is, well, you're trying to become a professional player, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll do things the way that the professional scene does it. MR3, 10,000 to start. Just waiting for them to all ready up and get ready to rock and roll, and we will be going live into the second half of this one. So, I mean, we knew that this was going to be a tight matchup. And the guys from Penta and Ince have been sitting downstairs warming up for a little while. They've gotten plenty of time to get warm.
Yeah.
Because we're going the distance.
Yeah. The other thing to think about is, all right, so you have 10K overtime. It really puts pressure on your oppers.
Yes.
Because the second you lose that op, if you have to rebuy it, you're actually in a position where in the third round you can't really get anything.
No.
So, and then there's not even just that. It's like, okay, if I die, but one of my teammates has to throw his rifle away to pick up my op, that has repercussions in the third round of whatever half we're in. So players like Bubble and Oscar, who have been utilizing the op a lot, even Stiko, who's been using the op, all of a sudden you look at them, you're like, okay, I think it's time you're going to have to put that op down. You might need to pick up the rifle. You can justify it in the first round, but if you lose it then, that's it. You're done. You got to go back to a rifle and hope that you can even hold on to that one, because even if you buy op rifle, by the third round, if you lose both, you're not necessarily in a great spot.
Not at all. And, I mean, even more so on the CT side than the terrorist side, because, you know, your M4s are $3,100 as opposed to $2,700 for the AK-47. So, I mean, that $400 can make the world of difference when you're going into the final round of the half, and that $400 could mean 2 flashes, could mean an extra smoke for your team, could mean an incendiary or a Molotov grenade for your team to work with going into that final round. And missing that utility is crucial in a lot of times, especially since we've seen heavy smoke executions going on towards that A-bomb site. And, I mean, that's really kind of the name of the game right now. So you see Angel sitting down with the rest of his team. They're ready to rock and roll. We should be getting this one live here in a second for you guys as we bring the action to you. And it's going to be a good one, man, all the way through overtime.
Yeah, I'm really anticipating a double OT here. I just have that feeling, that gut feeling. Like, I felt like this was going to be a map that went 30 rounds, probably to OT. I said at least 28 just to save myself face. But yeah, we're getting ready to go live here in just a second. Now, like we said, because it's this MR3 10K, the rounds that HellRaisers has used to put themselves in good position consistently, which would be pistol, completely thrown out the window. Now it's just straight into buy rounds. And really, like, buy round versus buy round, we haven't actually seen that in a while.
No.
Most of this the last 8 or so rounds, it's been back and forth. Force buy, save, force buy, save.
Those all those quasi buys
Yeah.
that we've seen. You know, sick ace there from Stiko.
Way to go, bud.
Nice.
But again, just waiting to go live here. Should be any second now. You kind of feel bad for Ence and Penta, who've been waiting to play. Like, this map, there was already a little bit of a delay early on.
Yeah.
And now this one goes the distance. It just means the delay is that much longer. But c'est la CS. That's the way it works.
That's the name of the game. Things happen. You know, you can't always predict what's going to be going down during a matchup, or you know, sometimes there's a glitch in the matrix. Electronics being fickle as they are, sometimes things happen. So,
I mean, what's interesting is HellRaisers started this one out so dominant that I would have predicted that it would have ended much quicker. Like, what was the score in the first game at halftime? It was 14-1. Like, you look at that scoreline on Cash, which was MK's pick, you go, okay, wow, HellRaisers is way better.
For sure. I
like,
thought 2-0
yeah.
for sure.
And we knew that Combo was the second map. We thought this should be maybe close, but it's probably going to be HellRaisers' map. It's flip-flopped again. You know, MK plays much more dominant on their opposite side's map. Now we come in Mirage, which was the coin toss map. We knew this one was going to be pretty close. But, I mean, just based on the way that HellRaisers started things out, it seemed like they were the much more prepared team. But things have quickly spiraled back towards MK's favor, and now we're in this third map, moving into overtime. Finally going live here, and everything lies in this map here. You know, you win this one, you're moving on. You lose it, you're going home.
Yeah, intense for both teams right now. They don't want to give up an inch. They don't want to give up anything. You can see the op in the hands of Oscar, op in the hands of Bubble. It's going to be very back and forth to work with so far in this matchup. And again, I mean, it's like you said, this is like might actually be technically the first full gun round that we've seen since like the fourth round in the second half.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen a full, true gun round, full utility across the board, AWP in play on both sides. We've seen mixed buys, AKs and Galils, FAMAS, 5.7s, Tech 9s, the full like armory of pistols and rifles. But it looks like they're going to be heading over towards B early on.
Ooh,
NKL goes for the peek. Yeah, he should have taken down Zero, but Zero gets dropped in, drops in from window, gets taken down by Dreamer. Victor playing up on Catwalk continues his dominant presence on the map. It's down to just 2 here, Stico and Queston. Queston has the op over towards ramp, not able to get the kill on the man, pushing out of ticket booth. So now the bomb is isolated by itself. Queston is basically the decoy here with the AWP, but it's a pretty expensive decoy, so it really puts Stico into the position where he has to win the round for his team because Queston's getting surrounded here.
Yeah, but they've given up complete A control. He's able to at least flash and molly his way, and he could actually completely intercept this. Look at this play right now. Bomb working in towards the B-bomb site. They pushed up in mid to try to get a little bit of control, but that player's wrapping around from terror spawn in towards the A-bomb site. If Queston can actually go through the murder hole and get up there, he's actually just going to drop out and run through underpass. So this is a fake of a fake that's faking the fakers right now because, I mean, look at this. They're going to be able to get in towards the B-bomb site, get the bomb planted. Queston's going to be up and top with an AWP to watch Kitchen. The players are so out of position. The rotate is finally coming out now. They're going to send a player down through Connector and one through Kitchen right now, but Quest, well, he takes down one. Now it's a 2v2. Victor's on 13 HP. They're both coming from, well, one's coming from Catwalk and one's coming from the window room. But, I mean, it's just the positioning that Quest is in right now. He knows that a player's coming Cat, takes him down, and now it's all on Victor, takes him down. That round was single-handedly won by Quest. Beautiful stuff.
He picks up the op on ramp, doesn't get the kill on the man CT, but he's kind of scared he doesn't want to force that fight.
Look at the kills right. Just hold on 1 second. Look at HellRaisers' kills right now. 20, 26, 21, 22, and 24. Boom. 6 kills from the top to the bottom.
Very even spread, which
nuts.
is different from the last map. I think we said it was like...
Angel had like 4 kills
and then
at
in
one
this
point.
map early on,
Yeah,
Quest was struggling.
was at like 14, and Quest had 1 kill at one point. Yeah.
So HellRaisers pick up that very important first round, and you can see economic impact. Bubble, who had the op last round, he's on M4 body armor now. Not the worst thing in the world. You're facing off against AKs. You know that it's a one-shot headshot regardless.
Utility, too. I mean, he just threw out his 1 smoke grenade. NKL has no smoke. He opted to go for a kit as opposed to picking up 2 flashes. So, I mean, you can see that the money is wounded already on the MK side. We talked about because it's so much more expensive to invest fully into the CT side. Incendiary grenades are more expensive. Rifles are more expensive.
Defuse kits.
Yeah, you got to buy a kit. So you got $200 extra for a firebomb. You've got $400 to buy a kit. An extra $400 to buy a rifle. Right there, I mean, you're already talking about $1,000 difference in the economy just to get a full set of utility.
That was unfortunate there. Angel, he got a flash from his teammate, but just showed his peeked the angle a little bit too early, so he caught the tail end of the flashbang, blind himself, had to pop flash himself in. Doesn't seem to have affected him at all, though, as he picks off 2 players coming up from Catwalk. So despite that early misstep, that double frag is going to allow HellRaisers to get a little bit of control over here on the B bomb site. Bubbling in the back of sight behind the bench. He's putting bullets into these players, but he hasn't found a kill just yet. He did take down Angel, but he can't get out towards the market in time. Zero is going to gun him down. Stico in a great position to get the backstab on the man coming in towards market, and KL goes down. Meanwhile, Queston got the last kill over towards B. That's Spider. 2 rounds in a row here for HellRaisers, and now you can see that cost of buying all those guns really draining the money on the side of MK.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a more familiar scene, what we're used to looking at from the second half of this matchup, where it's this quasi-buy from one of the 2 sides. It happens to be MK this time around. This is the last round of the first half of the first overtime. If we need to go to a second overtime, we will. But remember, 19 rounds is the goal right now. HellRaisers picking up 2 on their T side. I mean, it was 9-6, both sides on the CT side.
Yeah.
So picking up 2 back-to-back rounds here on the T side of overtime number 1 bodes very well for HellRaisers moving forward into the second half of this OT.
The only thing you can say for HellRaisers is that towards the end of that last half, things were really bizarre. All those force buys, you never really saw the round fully develop. Great shooting from Stico as NKL went aggressive in mid, surrendering one of the rifles early. They had a FAMAS and an M4, and that was it. The rest were on pistols, and that FAMAS dropped so fast. Nade towards underpass doesn't do quite as much damage as it looked like it would have done. Meanwhile, Spy Leader goes down as well, so it is a 5-on-3 right now, favoring the side of HellRaisers. And they've got full mid control and players up Catwalk as well. Dreamer in pretty good position to take this duel with Stico, but not able to come out on top of that with the CC75. It looks like this round is all HellRaisers here. It's just Bubble left with 12 HP, and HellRaisers sweep the T side here in the first half of overtime.
That was massive. That was absolutely massive for that half. I mean, just looking at it, both teams struggled really to put rounds on the board on their terrorist side. Granted, they did get 6 each half, but they struggled to do so. This time around, a clean sweep. That's like, I mean, that's like winning the half 15-0.
Yeah.
On your terrorist side, because now they're in match point. Now they only need 1 round in order to close this one out. Like I said, 19 being the magic number. Mortal Kombat cannot afford mistakes here.
No,
they can afford
have to sweep.
0 mistakes.
And that was the problem, was both teams' T sides were the ones where we saw the most mistakes. Their CT sides were much more concrete. So, I mean, it's a tough position to be in if you're MK. You can't even afford to like lose a lot of guns because the cost of just rebuying over and over again, even though it's overtime and you have that 10K to work with, if you're going to put the op and play on bubble, which I would imagine they're going to do at least one of these rounds, losing that could be punishing, but they actually opt to just go with the AK.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. Do they go for the double op setup here on the CT side? No, they don't. They actually don't. They were favoring that most of the time on their CT side. Stiko and Oscar both picking up the AWP, but this time around, it's just going to be Oscar. 18-15 is the scoreline. This is our first overtime. We'll go until they're done.
What is actually interesting to me here is that Zero and Oscar both pick up head armor. You know it's AKs. It's those little
that extra money.
Yeah.
But look at how fast they're up catwalk right now on the Mortal Kombat side. They're already at the site. It's Angel in the backlines by himself. He's got to come up huge, but he can't. NKL is going to be able to find one. Oscar and Stiko, though, answer back. These have been the guys who have been dominant throughout this matchup. But again, I mean, it's going to come down to the man advantage. The bomb is going to get planted. They've got cat control. Victor is going to be there with the AK-47, just trying to lock things down. But again, it's just the retake. Zero's already out from market window, out in front of this smoke. He's going to be able to push on through. They've got pretty much control right now. Now they know that a player is up on catwalk. That's going to be Victor. Spotting the head, though, Dreamer is going to be able to answer back. It's a 2-on-2, so this is still very doable for the Mortal Kombat side. They tap the bomb. Are they going to full defuse? Oh my God. Simultaneously, the frags come out. Oscar finds Dreamer. Victor goes down. The defuse goes out, and HellRaisers are going to be moving on. 19-15. It goes the distance. Finally, we get a great map out of our third one, Mirage.
Yeah, so congratulations to HellRaisers. They'll be moving on in towards the grand finals, and unfortunately, MK is going to be headed home. A little bit sad with that one. I mean, they were so close. They were like right on the cusp of closing that one out, and they just couldn't quite.
And it would have been a great comeback too.
I mean, that was really the thing. They were down early, then they lost that pistol round. They couldn't quite bring it back. Their first map went horribly wrong, and it's not really their fault. It was just that it was that HellRaisers came out swinging on Cash, completely shutting them down. The fact that they were able to pick up Kabul was great, but when it moved into the third map, they just didn't have enough left in the tank.
I mean, like I said, it goes the distance. Overtime for the final. You couldn't have asked for much more in that series. Each team stealing away the other team's map pick.
Yeah.
Then you've got the final map that goes all the way into overtime. 19-15. HellRaisers moving on to the grand final, where they're going to meet the winner of ENCE versus Penta, who we're going to see come up on stage here very, very shortly, because we're going to actually take a little bit of a break in between. But, well, we kind of called it. We expected, you know, the map picks went the way that we thought that they were going to go. We got Cash, Cobblestone, and we got Mirage. The
only thing we didn't predict...
We thought that Cash was going to be a lot closer, 14-1 for HellRaisers' CT side.
We thought that it would be MK taking Cash, HellRaisers taking Cobble, third map, potentially. Yeah. When HellRaisers came out swinging on map 1, we thought, okay, maybe this is going to be a 2-0. And then we thought, okay, well, now that it's gone to Cobble and it's been pretty dominant from MK, third map should be pretty close. And it was.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of caught us off guard a little bit, but even still, we were pretty on point with what we thought would happen. And HellRaisers were the favorite coming into that match, but after watching it play out, you could really not give them too much. I mean, they were barely able to squeak out that victory.
I mean, very, very close in the long run. That Mirage game was great. I've thoroughly enjoyed that through and through.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, just when you look at it on paper, this series was just so close, was so incredibly close. So that's, I mean, 2-1 in favor of HellRaisers. Cash going their way, Mirage going their way, Cobblestone not so much, but they are our first team into the grand finals. Next up, we're going to have ENCE versus Penta to find out who is going to meet HellRaisers in the grand finals to fight for that Pro League Season 4.
Yeah,
Pro League Season 4 spot. And we'll be back in a few minutes for you guys. Hang tight. It's going to be a couple minutes because they do need to break down all of their stuff and set up all of the stuff for the next teams that are coming up. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be back soon.
Go for that, stick it on the side.